Good morning and happy Monday. I am here checking in to talk about what I read this weekend. I will say this weekend was a struggle weekend. It's my first struggle weekend of the month, or my first struggle days of the month, because literally I wasn't burnt out. I just wanted to do other things. But I definitely had in my head that I wanted to finish some books this weekend, and I was going into the weekend having finished books and some really good ones last week. And so I was kind of like at a loss of what was next. What I found is like if I have a stack of books that I'm really interested in that are like my next ups, then I can just like breeze through a bunch of books. If I have to spend time waiting to figure out what I'll read next, I find I'm less productive in reading. So I don't know if that's for anybody else, but that's what I found about myself. This weekend was also busy. I haven't really talked about it here, but we are moving, and so there's a lot to be done. It's just a local move, but we are trying to pack everything up, and like, yeah, it's a lot. You don't realize how much you accumulate, so it's like packing, throwing things away. We have all the rooms, kids' rooms, all the things. So that's been a high priority, and we'll move on Saturday this week. So I'm gonna try to get all of my vlogging stuff done before then, because it's gonna be a busy weekend going into Labor Day weekend. But glad that I have the extra day for Labor Day weekend so that we can get all that stuff done. So let's talk about what I read. So I read two very mediocre books this weekend, but I got them done. The first one I read was Forever Never by Lucy Score. I was kind of playing around with a couple of different books. So I started this weekend reading The Serpent and the Wings of Night. I'm on page 69. I like this book already. I think I talked about it a little bit, but basically the writing style for a fantasy is very easy to navigate. And so I will be focusing on that this week. However, I knew I wasn't going to finish it this weekend, so I kind of put a pin in it. And I was browsing around a little bit. I'm like, what would I read next? I dipped my toe in a couple of books that just weren't for me, and I landed on Forever Never because I'd seen people read it. And I like Lucy Score generally. Anyway, I ended up giving this a 2-star, and it was just not great. I don't know if this is one of her first books or what, but it just didn't hit for me. It was so, like, I can't even tell you the characters of the story. I just didn't like it. It was kind of the same format of things we left behind or things we never get over, things like where it's like grumpy guy, sunshine girl, and I honestly can't tell you what it's about. That's so bad. 2 stars though. It was not for me. It's just a no. Then I picked up The Do-Over by Lynn Painter. I purchased that on Kindle because Forever Never was on Kindle Unlimited, and then this was on Kindle. I purchased it because, I'm trying to just focus on reading my Kindle books, and so I thought it was cute. So The Do-Over, I think it's a YA, but it basically follows high school kids. The main character wakes up on Valentine's Day. She's so excited. She has a boyfriend who she loves. She's going to tell him that she loves him, and she finds out that he is cheating on her, essentially. And just everything goes wrong that day. She gets in a car accident, like a little fender bender with her chemistry lab partner. Her dad, who her parents are separated, her dad's moving to a different state and doesn't want her to come necessarily. So like all the things. She ends up reliving this day over and over. And the one constant is that she keeps having interactions with her chemistry partner, Nick. And so it's clear that she should be in line with Nick and not her boyfriend. And so she relives the day about 3 times. And then the 3rd time, she's like, forget it. I'm just going to live the life I want to live. She gets a tattoo. She skips school with Nick. She's like, no boundaries. I don't care. I'm going to relive this day anyway tomorrow. And that's the day that sticks. So on that day, she gets her dad's car impounded. She gets a tattoo and like all the things. And so Sorry, my arm's getting sore. So she does all the things, and then it happens to be that's the actual day. And so the next day is the 15th. She has to like deal with those repercussions. Really cute story. It was just slightly repetitive. I did give it 4 stars. I did like Nick as her love interest, and I can't remember her name, but Emily. I did like Nick as Emily's love interest, but I wanted to see more of that. It was like literally one day that they had their special day. Nothing happened. This is a YA book. Very, very innocent. But there one day they were together. They had great chemistry. And then the next day, it's like, we never hear from Nick really again. So I wanted to see more of that. And maybe there'll be a part 2. Who knows? So then after that, I was like, okay, this was Struggle Bus Central this weekend, but I still want to read. And so I picked up, this is on Kindle Unlimited. It's called Falling in Love. This is by an author I've never heard before, Erin Branscombe, and it's part of a series. It's the first book in the Freedom Valley series, and it is so cute. Okay, so we have this girl, Beth, who, we open to the book and her car is on the side of the road. She's in this small town. She's a writer, so like an out-of-work writer, and a good guy, I want to say his name is Evan. Yeah, Evan, it's got to be. Something like that. He comes to pick her up and offers to take her back to an inn, and come to find out he's an owner of it. His family owns the inn. She doesn't have much money, but he says she can stay for free, and she's gonna kind of work off her debt while she's writing. And so you can see where it's kind of going, but it's like small town, so cute. It's only 281 pages. I'm blowing through it. I think I'm like 30% into it, and I started it last night, like around 8. So the writing is very light and skippy and beautiful. And so my plan this week for reading will be to continue reading this. I think this will take me like today and tomorrow, maybe, depending on how much time I have today. Although today is reading sprints, and so this might be my reading sprint book. And then I want to go back to this one. Again, I have this on Kindle and on paperback. So when I'm not reading my Kindle, I'll read the paperback of this. When Falling in Love is over, I'm going to read this, both paperback and digitally. And then for audio, I'm listening to Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. So part of my middle grade May was to read Half-Blood Prince, because last year, like I tried to reread all the series last year. I only got through just like the first 5 chapters of book 6, and I got burnt out. So I'm picking up where I left off, and I'll be listening to that until it's over. I have about 9 hours left. I have it on 1.7 speed. Then today, excitingly, it is Scholastic Book Fair at Reagan School. So we're going to go after school. I might find some middle grade books, but it's buy one, get one free. So please, let's have all the restraint, because she's also a book kid. And so she loves picking out tons of books. And so we're going to get stocked up for the summer. But yeah, okay, that's the update for Monday. Again, it's sprints tonight, so I'm hoping to get a lot done this afternoon as well. Okay, we'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys. Good morning and happy Tuesday. Hopping on this morning to give you an update on the reading that happened last night. So yesterday was a pretty good day for reading. When I left you yesterday, I was reading, let me pull it up. I was reading Falling in Love, and that was a cute rom-com about 2 folks that Evan and, what is her name? I can do this. Why do I always forget these folks' names? Okay, hold on a second. Okay, Evan and Beth, let me pull it up. And this book, it did have a trigger warning at the beginning regarding like grief. I didn't really bother me because I don't really like look into the trigger warnings like that. But this book deals with Beth, who is an author whose car breaks down, and she is picked up by Evan. Evan is in Zala, small town. Evan owns the local inn with his family, and Beth decides that she's going to stay at the inn. She can't pay for it, so she begins working there. And really falls in love with the town and with Evan. So they move kind of quickly. It's only 281 pages, but about 30 pages in, they've already confessed that they like each other. They've already kissed. But it's very sweet, very down home. Evan's problem is that the bank wants to foreclose on the inn, and he's trying to take over for his dad who's recently passed away. And so this isn't his dream, but he has to keep it open. And so through both of their sort of finding each other, finding themselves, they realize they want to be in this small town. They want to have the inn together. Beth's actually dealing with some grief. Her husband and daughter, 3-month-old daughter, passed away in a car accident. Spoiler. Sorry, spoiler. She's dealing with that grief, and takes her a while to open up about that situation. So it does get a little heavy, especially when thinking about like the passing of a child that's a baby. But it's very short. It's done really well. There are very cute romantic scenes, nothing too over the top, very, very innocent, sweet romance. So I ended up giving that 4 stars because I just liked the way it was written. During sprints last night, I was reading The Serpent and the Wings of Night, and it's so clunky right now because I packed all of my bookmarks, and so I'm using my Booklight as my bookmark, but I'm now on page 115. So I read about 30-ish pages, a little bit over 30 pages yesterday. Still really good. I like it. Like I said, the writing is easy to comprehend for a fantasy. And basically we are following a young girl who is human in a world with vampires, and she is being tested on these trials. And so it kind of gives me like ACOTAR / Hunger Games sort of vibes, where she's being tested against the powers and magic of vampires. And she's doing well because she's been trained. However, she just got into a group with 2 people, Mishi and I forgot his name, the other guy, and they are kind of forming an alliance to get through the trials together. However, no matter what, only one person wins. So there's 3 people, and at the end they're gonna have to kill each other. So still, it's really good. I like the way it's written. And then I was so excited last night. Ghostlight came through. Ghostlight I had on a library book as well, checked out, but I also got it on Libby just so I had it on digital, and it is a middle grade story about ghosts. I'm only 2% in, so I don't really know what it's about, but I heard about it on Bookish Knitter's channel, and I value her recommendations. And then yesterday I saw all of this talk about the book The Fourth Wing, and it is another fantasy novel. I don't know anything about it, but I did purchase it, and I will get to it way down the line. And then finally, a couple days ago, I picked up Witch Upon a Star. Let me show you the cover. If I can go back. And this is, I've read every other book in this cozy mystery: The Bait and Witch, 7-Year Witch, Witch and Famous. Maybe I didn't read Witch and Famous, but it's by Angela M. Sanders. And I liked them, so that's why I picked it up. And it just popped on my Kindle today, so it must have just released today. So that's kind of what I read. That's what's going on. Today's going to be another busy work day. I also have to leave the house today for work. And then packing and cleaning. Here's something else I noticed though. Yesterday I noticed that my Oasis battery was like way down. And so I want to just talk through this so that anybody who is using the Oasis has an idea. So I charged my Oasis on Friday night to 100%, obviously, because it was at like 41%. And that was after 4 days. Yeah, because I got it on Monday. So I had been Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it's at 41%. So I don't think that's bad. I think it runs a little bit, the battery is a little bit not as good as the Paperwhite. However, what I found yesterday is I took it off around, I don't know, 7 p.m. I was finishing up Falling in Love, and I was at like 69%. And the next day I looked up, I was at like 54%. And I was like, what is going on? So I want to alert people of this just in case. So I did not know. So I had the brightness on 13, which I don't do that bright. And so I turned it down to save battery, and then it went up again, and then I realized there is the auto brightness tab, and so if you click auto brightness, I think it's going to drain your battery more because it's going to keep adjusting depending on where you are, what time of day it is, and all of that. Great feature. I don't need it as much, and it was draining the mess out of my battery. So last night I went to bed, it was like 54%. This morning I'm up at 51%. So it definitely helped, I believe, but I'm just noticing the battery is not really as good as the Paperwhite. Not a knock on the Oasis. I think it's more powerful, which is why the battery is not as good. But just wanted to name that for people who might be getting the Oasis or thinking about picking it up. All right, that's it for Tuesday. Good morning and happy Wednesday. So excited it's Wednesday, but this week is going by so fast. I think because we have so much going on this weekend, but it's literally like going so fast. Okay, so let me update you on yesterday. So yesterday, I was really determined to get more on The Serpent and the Wings of Night. This book is my actual like physical book that I'm reading right now. I do have it digitally, as I've mentioned, but I prefer it in paperback. And I wonder for me if I will have fantasies in actual paperback, because I think I get lost in them in the Kindle. And so for me, I just like having it. So I'm on page 173. So I read about 60 pages yesterday. And these pages are very long. So when I did try to pull it up on the Kindle, it's like on my Kindle, every 2 pages is 1 page of the paperback. But it's getting good. It is getting good. I don't know how to describe it yet. So it definitely gives like Hunger Game vibes more than ACOTAR. It's definitely like we jumped right into like a tournament of sorts. All the names, they're fantasy names, so like who knows, but it's getting good and it's moving at a really good pace, and so I do like it. At first I was like, I don't know, especially like around the 120 mark, I was like, I don't know, but actually I do like it, so continuing with that. And then yesterday I was looking on my Kindle for my next Kindle book, and I decided to go ahead and read Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adams. I was actually watching a booktuber, Haley Pham. I'm sure people all know Haley Pham, and she was doing like her top summer reads. I was like, oh great, let's see what we have for summer, because I think for June that's gonna be my focus, is like finding books that are summery. But like all of the books that she suggested I had read already, except for Practice Makes Perfect. And I bought this a couple weeks ago. This comes after When in Rome. It's in the same universe. When in Rome was just okay for me. And Sarah Adams is just okay for me. But this book is starting out really, really good. I'm flying through it already. And I like the premise. I already like the characters. And so that's good. I say flying through. I'm like on page 34. And I started it last night around 9. So, I mean, I am flying through it a bit, but I really like it already. The lead guy, to me, is already like a boyfriend book crush with his tattoos on his arm. So I'm here for it. In the past, Sarah Adams for me has just been okay, but I also fully recognize that when I'm reading one style of book over and over, I could maybe rate it low because I'm just tired of that genre. And so I do acknowledge that. But this book's starting off really good. Today, I'm going to continue with both of these books. I think it's that part of the week where I'm not really finishing anything. But so far this month, I've read 20 books, and it's the 24th. So I think that is pretty good. If I stopped right now, I'd be okay. But I would love to finish these 2 books before June 1st, because there's a second book in The Serpent and the Wings of Night that I want to read. And I want to start my summer book tour. So I just want to like get these 2 books done. So it's going to be my focus. Today I'm going to be filming my Thursday video, which is going to be the Paperwhite versus the Kindle Oasis. And I am excited to film that just because those are the videos that I like to watch. And I have both devices. Oh my gosh, my phone's going crazy in the background. I have another phone. I love to watch those types of videos, and so I'm excited. The biggest thing I'm having of trouble with right now with the Kindle Oasis, which is not enough for me to send it back, but is the battery life. It is like draining battery like crazy. Yesterday I kind of talked about it a little bit, and then I was about at 55% 5% at the end of the day, like 3 p.m. And I wasn't really reading on it. It was just sitting. And by the end of the night, I was at 32%. And so that really irritated me because my Kindle Paperwhite, I charged that on Friday night. Granted, I haven't been reading on it, but I came back to it at 95%. My Kindle Fire HD8, the new pink one, I actually had that packed in a box. I needed to get it out yesterday, and it's at 71%. I haven't charged it in I don't know how long. So the Kindle Oasis battery is definitely sending me. And like I said, I still like the Kindle Oasis, and so it's not like I'm going to return it or anything like that. But it's definitely like you're going to have to charge this more often. I also got a case for it. This does not need a case. I love the way it feels without the case, but I thought it would be cute to add stickers because I love doing that, and I didn't want to put it right on the Kindle Oasis. So nice little simple case from Amazon. And I think that's it for today for right now. Maybe I'll hop on later if I get some more reading done, but probably not. So that is the Wednesday update. All right, we'll see you in the next clip. Good morning and happy Thursday. I've never needed this coffee more than I need today. Welcome to the most chaotic day of my week. Not only do I have like back-to-back meetings today, but we are so close to finishing our move that today's like, this is the only day of the week we didn't really have anything after school for the kids. So it's like the mad dash today and tomorrow to get all of the miscellaneous stuff that's been out that we've needed up until this point in a box. So it's gonna be it's probably gonna be busy through Tuesday of next week. So haven't decided what my vlog will look like next week or if I will be doing one, but just if I don't, you know why. Okay, so let me give you an update on what I read. So first up, let's talk about Practice Makes Perfect. This is my Kindle selection. I bought this book by Sarah Adams. She wrote The Cheat Sheet and When in Rome. This book follows the same folks as in When in Rome, and we're following Will and Annie. Annie is the sister of Noah, and Noah is the love interest in the last book. And Will is Amelia, the woman love interest in the last book. Will is Amelia's bodyguard because Amelia is a pop star. And so Annie and Will run into each other when Annie's on the worst date of her life. And Will is right out the gate very flirty with her and has making it very known that he likes her. But Annie and Amelia and Annie's sisters have all made a pact not to date him, but that's quickly going to fall by the wayside. So I am on page 62. So about 20% in. It's an easy read. I just didn't spend that much time on it yesterday. And so still very, very good. So as I said yesterday, my plan for the remainder of the month is to finish Practice Makes Perfect and The Serpent and the Wings. That'll give me 22 books for the month. That's plenty. And so I'm not in a rush to finish either of these by the weekend, but that's the plan. So yesterday I spent a good chunk of time reading The Serpent and the Wings of Night, and it started off a little bit slow for me. I was never going to DNF it. I was just kind of moving slowly. I'm now on page 238. I'm on chapter 28, and it is a lot better for me. So I will say I watched Destiny Sidwell's it was her introduction to fantasy, whatever, and she has mentioned like this is definitely a higher level fantasy book. It is easily like the way it's written is just like common language, but it's a little bit harder to grasp all the things. But basically you have your main character Araya, who is human, and she has entered or has been entered into the sort of like Hunger Games style competition with vampires. And her being human, having human blood, the vampires are a huge threat to her, but she was trained by a vampire to fight them and be really good at it. So it's kind of like Throne of Glass vibes, sort of like Selena being trained to be like an assassin. But Araya has linked up with, oh gosh, what's his name? Hold on. Okay, Araya has been in cahoots with Ryan. That's how I'm going to say his name, because it's like Rhian. Ryan and Mish. And they are both vampires, but Ryan and Mish are sort of becoming part of an alliance with her, because in this competition, there's lots of people vying to be the end, and they feel like they will protect each other, but also Ryan and Mish, being vampires, know at the end they can kill her off very easily, and so that's very known from the beginning. And Araya doesn't feel like she'll be killed off, but thinks that she can take Ryan and Mish. So they are in an alliance, but like it's not a till death do us part thing. It's like, I will kill you when I need to. And Ryan and Araya, you can tell there's some type of romance gonna bud there, but Ryan is training Araya to just be a really good fighter, and they're learning how to fight with each other and like be the best partners together. And Mish recently was attacked and injured, so she's kind of like stepped back in the book. Anyway, I'm probably not explaining it the best way, but it is really good. And so I'm gonna take another chunk of this today when I'm not working or packing. And yeah, that's pretty much it for Thursday. So y'all wish me luck. We'll see you in the next clip. Good morning and happy Friday. Welcome to the end of the vlog. So this was a very interesting vlog because it was basically like trying to read all week and not finishing a book, and that's okay. It's been a hectic week. As you guys know, I'm moving and making time for reading has been difficult, but I think it's great to show that side of this process because, you know, we don't all read every single day, even though we want to. So leaving this week, I am now at 64% on Serpent and the Wings of the Night. I still like it. I feel like I'm gliding over the words. And I describe this in fantasy where it's like you're reading the words and you're like bouncing on top of the words, but you're not like taking them in. And that's kind of where I am. I'm sort of in the middle. It's getting a little redundant. And the slow burn is slowly burning. I do not like a slow burn. Either you like me or you don't. And so that's been a challenge to get through. And then I am at 21% on Practice Makes Perfect. I only read about 6% in that book yesterday. Nothing wrong with that. I was just literally tired. And so that is kind of how the week is ending. What I did yesterday too was I built out a wish list of books that I'm ready to read next because there's so many good summer reads that are coming. I'm gonna do my June video, which, as I said, my June TBR is gonna be based in like all of my summer reads, right? So things that I want to read that are just emitting summer. I don't know what July will be yet, as far as like a theme necessarily, but for June, I really want to focus on that. And so I was looking at tons of different books that are coming out that I want to read next. I'm trying to pull it up on my Kindle. So, for instance, I put Love Theoretically. That's the next Ali Hazelwood book, and she's pretty good. The last book was way better than Love Hypothesis for me, and I haven't got that yet on Kindle because I think it'll be in Book of the Month because they've done all of their books. The Summer Girl by Elle Kennedy is the third book in the trilogy. That will be coming out in July. Ellen Hildebrand's The 5-Star Weekend I want to read. The second book in that Death by Bubble Tea is Hot Pot Murder. That comes out. And there's another book I saw called Same Time Next Summer by Annabelle Monaghan. I don't know. But I saw that and I think I want to read that too. So just trying to build up my TBR when I don't have the motivation to read much. But hopefully you enjoyed this reading vlog. And yeah, decide what you want to read. Decide if you're taking a break at the end of the month or what's your next steps. Like I said, I'm still going to finish these 2 books by the end of the month. And yeah, that's it for this vlog. Thanks so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. Thank you to all my new subscribers. Don't forget to engage in the channel by commenting. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.